John is mechanical engineering alum from the Kate Gleason College of Engineering and says that the opportunity to return to serve as RIT's chief steward is very exciting. John's opportunity here includes establishing facilities as a partner with the other divisions to support their strategic initiatives with exceptional services. His vision is to create an organizational culture within facilities that is focused on people and exceeds customer expectations. Prior to RIT, John was a facilities professional at SUNY Oswego, where he served as a manager of maintenance and engineering and the director of design and construction. While at Oswego, he also coached springboard diving, taught facilities-related courses, and chaired the campus sustainability committee. His early career included 9 years as an engineer at the James A. Fitzpatrick Nuclear Power Plant in Oswego, New York, and 1 year as a systems engineer with IBM. John considers it a great honor to serve as the Assistant Vice President for Facilities at RIT, and it is on our honor today to welcome him. Thanks for being here, John. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Cindy. So I do have a presentation about facility managers and how they can help you and help your organization, and hopefully you'll gain some insights out of this. You know, when I attend conferences or listen to webinars, I always hope to gain at least one thing, you know, one nugget of information that will make me smarter, help my organization, or make the situation better. These takeaways that I'm listing here are themes that I'll be talking about today, and I hope you'll gain at least one nugget that will help you. So I'm going to discuss some of the services that facilities people provide and what you should be able to expect from them. We're going to talk about what facility services people can mean to your business, and we can also discuss ways that what facility services staff need from you to make sure that they're performing as you need them to. The underlying premise for me is that facility services is about the people that take care of the work environment. I believe you'll discover just how important these people are to your success. So there's some survey questions that we were going to do. Is that still working? No? Okay. So just some things to think about then. You know, so what percentage, or how many of you know what percentage of your operating budget is spent on facility services? At RIT, we spend about 7% of our operating budget, or about $6.25 per square foot, on services to maintain and operate our buildings. And then there's also that percentage that you spend on utilities, you know, the water, gas, electric services, and that's about $2 a square foot for us here at RIT. We're fortunate that we have very favorable utility rates. But those are good pieces of information to know, and they're important to your business and your operating costs. You know, the other thing is that facilities assist with is that how important first impressions are to your business, and what does that mean when you have a potential client or customer come in, or a potential new employee. You know, what do they see and what are their first impressions of you and your business, you know, as they enter into your facility? So then, you know, just another one, we know in higher education that first impressions in the environment is a large part of the student decision process. We're very fortunate to have a beautiful campus here. It's extremely well maintained, and we're very fortunate that our first impressions from students are very, very good, as well as first impressions from faculty and staff that we're trying to recruit to come to RIT and work. So I guess the last question is just overall, those operating costs for your facility. And your facilities professionals are the ones that are going to be able to help you figure that out. But they can be very expensive. In a typical office building, you can expect about $9 per square foot to operate the facility. Some are higher tech buildings, could be as high as $20 a square foot. So, you know, depending on the size of your facility, it can make a big difference in your business plan. So those are just some things to think about as we go through and talk about, you know, what facilities people do. So a great deal of facilities work is what you see. What level of service are you expecting is really a good question to ask yourself. You know, how much do you need to do and how often does it need to be done is all part of the cost and the the workload associated with the facilities work. You know, for example, do you expect to have your office spaces dusted, vacuumed, or mopped, trash emptied, and wiped down every day? Well, that would be more what we would consider like a level 1 service, and it does take considerable time. You know, a custodian doing level 1 service is probably covering about 12,000 square foot per day. At RIT, we operate at a level 2 service. We relax the vacuuming and dusting down to about once a week, but that means that we go and we pick up and clean up every area every day, and that allows us to maintain a greater number of square feet per custodian. And just as a piece of information, RIT Facilities Management Services maintains about 4.5 million square feet per day. So office renovations is another thing that you see that facilities people take care of. Minor construction tasks, as simple as adding an outlet to where you need it, changing out the door locks, or potentially renovating an entire office system. So those are things that you'll see facilities people doing on a regular basis, and that, you know, that includes the construction as well as all of the management and design and planning aspects of making that happen. We think about and see a lot about grounds in our parking lots and transportation systems across the campus. You know, maintaining the lawns and the planting beds is something that can be very critical to those first impressions. As people get out of their cars and they're coming to your facilities, again, what do they see? Snow removal is another first impression that can be very important, but also can protect you from liabilities. Our RIT grounds crew maintains 207 acres of lawns and 137 acres of plowable surfaces. So an extremely important part of the operation here at RIT are those services that provide a good, safe, and friendly environment for all of our faculty, staff, and students. And I have to stress when I talk about the people, you know, how important it is for these people to be here and how dedicated they are to RIT. And, you know, you'll see these people come in at all hours of the day and night to keep our campus safe for our students, faculty, and staff. We do have floods on occasion. We've had fires. We have pests. We have snowstorms. You know, and the facilities team is there to help you clean up and get back into business. It doesn't really matter what time of day. These are truly dedicated professionals. And my note is that saying thank you and recognizing their contributions is very important. But also important is those things that you won't see. And you might have to look hard sometimes to understand and know what some of those things are. But there's about a third of the facility staff that you might not ever see. They're the folks that are working, you know, behind the mechanical room doors and working on equipment and utilities that are essential to keeping your facility operating. Heating and air conditioning technicians are constantly monitoring the conditions in your work areas to keep them within specs. They're also doing a great job trying to provide you the best work environment for your staff while optimizing performance to help save your business money. RIT has more than 10,000 pieces of HVAC equipment that we are operating on a daily basis. So it's a very big group and a very important job for them. We have transportation and parking services here at RIT that a ton of work goes on behind the scenes to make sure that we have the right available parking, we have good serviceable parking, we provide transportation services for our students on campus and off campus, and coordinating all of that activity takes a lot of effort behind the scenes. You know, event setups, when you want to come in and have that extra table and chairs, some decorations, arrangement of the conference room a special way, you know, it's not the fabled elves coming in after they fix the shoes. It's our facilities folks that are out there, you know, making those things happen and getting those things set up for you. So there's a lot of times you won't see them, but they're there working behind the scenes. I mentioned earlier about construction that, you know, our planning design teams are available out there depending on the size of your organization, but the strategic planning of where you want to go with your business, these are your true partners in how you're going to grow your facility to accommodate your business needs. there are some great professionals at working here at RIT that are constantly looking at ways we can serve the university better, and we can do more things to help the university grow. So on that note, I would mention to you that, you know, one of the things that you could look for is to include facilities people on your teams as you work on developing your business and process improvements for your business. They really do see a lot of things every day, both in front of you and as well as behind the scenes, and they may not offer suggestions unless you ask, but I would encourage you to ask, because there are a lot of great ideas that come out of our facility staff here at RIT that we take advantage of on a regular basis, and understand that listening to them is very, very important. So, you know, a lot of times people think about, and I've heard this, you know, that facilities is sometimes an overhead in terms of budget lines, but really facilities is a partner. Facility staff want to be engaged and connected to your business, and I believe it's important for you to have them engaged in your business as well. We have several comments from students here at RIT every semester about the custodians who helped them, consoled them, taught them, or even befriended them during the semester in a time when they really needed somebody, and how grateful they are that we have that kind of staff that care that much and provide that level of service to our students. I know that we have custodians and folks that work in facilities that have become integrated into the operating units of the different colleges here at RIT. And we're really partners in that process. And I think it's very important, and it's made a big difference here at RIT, that's the relationship that facilities has with the university, that we are truly partners in everything that the university does. I'll also mention that having that engagement really helps the facilities folks have a sense of purpose. And having a sense of purpose is very important to everyone in the jobs that they do. It's not really what we do or how we do it. The real power is believing in why we're doing it and being able to do it extremely well for you. So I'll just mention a little bit about who some of these professionals are and what people make up our facility services team. So these are really people who want to be part of something very big and important and very successful. And that's why they come and join our team here at RIT. They're people who have a tremendous amount of knowledge about the service and a tremendous amount of knowledge about the services they provide and the skills that they can add to make our business better. Hardworking people. Some are involved in technical trades. Some are college-educated technicians. We've got professionals and managers, all there to support the university and what we do. At FMS here at RIT, we also hire about 150 student workers every year. Our objective with the students is to accomplish tasks, but really important is to teach them about work ethic, and being a professional and providing good customer service. Should I mention the questions, or we'll come back to them?
We'll come back to them.
So I see that some people are putting in questions, and we're going to get back to those real quick. So what can we do to support you is a question about facilities, and I think I've talked a lot about that in the previous slides, but it's your business and it's your facility. And facility services professionals can really help you with that if you engage them. First impression for customers, clients, potential employees is extremely important, and your facilities professionals can help you with that. Quality work environment that promotes an effective and efficient operation of your campus is also extremely important for you, and that's something that facilities professionals do on a regular basis. Cost controls, different things that we can do to help your business be more effective and efficient, energy conservation measures. Recovery from disasters is extremely important for you, I'm sure, in your businesses as it is here for RIT. And an engaged and dedicated facility service team can really help you in making that happen. So the next kind of talk is to think about how you can help us help you. You know, and the ball is really in your court. Facilities professionals can be a great asset to your business, just like we are here at RIT. You need to make sure that they are part of your team and that you recognize the people for who they are and what they do for the university. Recognize their contributions. Sometimes you have to look hard to see what it is they're doing, because it is behind the scenes or out of sight. But believe me, there's a great deal of facilities people who deserve your recognition. Provide insight and connection to your business. Help them understand the why we're here and what we do and why what we're doing is important, and help them be connected and engaged in that. The what and the how are so much easier to perform if you really know why you're there and what purpose you're serving and how you're making a difference. You know, and I also would encourage you to ask and listen. These are people who touch and see every part of your facility every day. They may just have a great idea that you just haven't asked them for, an observation that could make a huge difference in your business model. I would encourage you to make them part of your business and help them be part of your team. You know, in the beginning I mentioned that facility services is about people that take care of the work environment. It's really a team effort. And I would just encourage you to do things that are going to make facilities people part of your team and engage them in the business and treat them like the valuable members of your team that they really are. And I think you'll be very impressed with the amount that these facilities professionals can do for your business as well. That was the bulk of my presentation. I hope it wasn't too short, but I am interested in your questions.
And we do have some, John. There's a question from David. How do you define and monitor satisfaction of users of facilities?
That's a great question. You know, so getting those customer satisfaction surveys is always a difficult thing. You know, people are inundated by surveys, and I'm sure people will go home tonight and get somebody calling them at dinner time looking for them to fill out a survey for them. But it is important. We actually meet with our customers on a quarterly basis, and we have actually here at RIT, we have facility managers. We meet with them as a group on a quarterly basis. What we also do is our custodial supervisors are encouraged to go out and meet with those facility managers on a regular daily, weekly basis as well, and talk about how are we doing, what can we do to be doing it better, what are your needs, how are we fulfilling those needs, and that's been an extremely important part of our business. We also do try and get some feedback as we complete work orders, special tasks, projects. We try and get feedback from the customers to help us get better and better serve them. But there's a lot of different ways to do it. I don't think that it's been successful for at least me to just send out a survey and expect to get a lot of great answers. I think the personal touch of going out and asking the questions has been much more effective for me.
Okay, a similar question along those lines, but more specific. For the athletic and exercise facilities, what standards and goals do you use to gauge user satisfaction? For example, temperature, airflow, humidity, and then there's a reference to acsm.org requirements, and I'm not sure I know what that is, but I'm sure you can enlighten us. acsm.org?
I'm not really
quickly
sure what
Google.
ACSM is. So I'll talk about athletic facilities a little bit. I mean, certainly that partnership with the athletic director and the coaches is extremely important. Not just the interior facilities, but exterior. Our grounds manager has a great relationship with our athletic director and the coaches that use the outdoor fields. We're constantly working with the other coaches in our indoor facilities to try and give them the best conditions that we can. Of course, there's always those other physical challenges. One of our main athletic buildings is Clark Gym, and it's not an air-conditioned facility. So it does make it very difficult. We're working with them to try and do what we can with the existing systems that we have, and we're always looking to find ways to improve. And so it's really that face-to-face communication. Again, I mentioned that it's about people, it's not just about the people and facilities, it's about developing those relationships with the people that you serve every day so that you have that two-way communication and you understand what their needs are.
That makes sense. Question about projections sort of in the future. We read about companies with more and more telecommuters, reducing the need for physical plants, and, you know, more retail entities are shutting down their brick and mortar stores as more business gets done online. Do you believe that these types of trends have some major impact on facilities management in the coming years?
I think they're going to have an impact on a lot of things in a lot of years. I know when we talk about, you know, campus master planning and things, you know, we would think about and talk about 10 years and 20 years down the road, and really we're focusing on the, you know, on the near term, the 3 to 5 year plans, because there's a lot of things that you don't know. You know, what is that next great thing that's going to happen that could change the entire environment? But I think what we're seeing in the last 10 years is a significant change in facilities because of the way students learn. You know, some of the students that are coming here to RIT have always had computers in front of them or tablet computers in front of them. These are students that grew up with smartphones and instantaneous information. So understanding what they need and how they learn, you know, and from a business perspective, you know, what those new employees are coming into your business. I read a statistic that millennials I think it was by 2025, millennials will make up 75% of the workforce. I mean, that's a big change to all of us. And we need to start thinking about what that means and be ready for it. So it is going to have some changes. Do I think that they're drastic? No, but I think the smart institutions like RIT are thinking about those things and trying to be ready for that and try and serve that population the best way that we possibly can.
So when you talked about students and their satisfaction, they're in essence the customers of RIT, right? So with other organizations, how do you see the customer role there? Because sometimes if it's Walmart, they're there every day, but, you know. So what we talk about within
facilities here at RIT is that there's a lot of different customers. So clearly the paying customer here at RIT is our students, right? But I look at, we in facilities look at all of the university as our customer. We also look at the community as our customer. So each member of the faculty, each member of the staff is a customer that's extremely important to us. Because without the right faculty and staff to offer the educational services, our students won't be here either. We also look at each other within facilities as customers. That, you know, when we're doing a project and we've got architects working on a project, one of their customers is the maintenance mechanic, the HVAC mechanic, and the custodians. We're going to end up taking care of that space for the long term. So I think it's a different role of customer now that we have to think about because everything that we do is so integrated.
That makes sense. Being a property manager for a small 4-suite office building, one tenant has connected their appliances, gas dryer, to another suite meter. Not sure I know what that means. How can this theft of service be handled?
So I mentioned that, you know, when you have a facilities team, you know, you certainly don't want to put them in a position where, you know, people think that they're out there being the police, and that's not really their role. But you can rely on your facility staff to observe and report back to you and let you know. One of the things that we're working on is having We're trying to get the majority of our work orders into our system be self-generated, meaning that our staff are out there every day seeing every space. They're generating the work orders based on what they see, and we're catching it before our customers do. So we're trying to be self-serving. So in those kind of cases, those observations from your facilities team can be very beneficial to your business.
Good. All right, Mary has a question. What do you see that RIT does well in comparison to your past employers, and where do you see room for improvement? So I don't know if you want to answer that.
Well,
but
that's okay. I think RIT does a great job of really thinking about and encouraging a level of family at RIT, and I know that I've talked about that with a lot of my colleagues here at RIT, that it really is about the people of RIT. Not that my prior employer didn't do that, but it is a really big emphasis here at RIT about how important each and every individual is, and that we don't just care about groups or demographic. It is about each individual and what we can do to best support them. You know, I'm very fortunate to be part of the finance and administration team here at RIT. And I'm extremely fortunate to be part of the RIT family. You know, so as an alum, you know, it really makes me proud to know how well this university is operated and maintained, and now for me to be part of making it ready for the future as well. So I don't think it's that we didn't do it, but I think that RIT really puts a great emphasis on making sure that people know how much they're appreciated.
So going back to the question regarding kind of the trends with brick and mortar and physical plants and telecommuters, do you foresee that there is because we see this in other industries, a potential shortfall from a talent perspective? People going to school and, you know, aspiring to do what you do, John?
So it's interesting that it's actually been a conversation I've had with a lot of other facilities professionals across the country, that one of the areas where we're concerned is that people going into the skilled trades has been declining. You know, so we've got these very complex electrical and mechanical systems and security systems and fire alarm systems that we operate in buildings. And getting facilities professionals, skilled trade technicians to be able to service and maintain and operate that equipment is becoming a concern for us. You know, so one of the things I probably should have mentioned in here, one of those things that the business owners can really do for facilities professionals is bring that level of training in. Again, something that I think RIT does extremely well, really encouraging professional growth, development, and training to really to stay ahead and stay on top of all of those technical fields. But yeah, so there is a concern about getting and being able to find the people who can operate and maintain these very complex systems. You know, as far as the bricks and mortar go, you know, I really believe in higher education, and it offers more than just the classroom curriculum. And I think so the bricks and mortars of higher ed are going to be around for a long time, because there's a lot of life learning that happens at a university that you're not going to get if you're taking it as an online course.
That makes sense. Any other questions? We've exhausted the ones we have. If any other folks want to submit, please do. David did get back to us as to what ACSM is. It's the American College of Sports Medicine and Facility Standards. So he kind of gave us some insights into the things that presumably he might be paying attention to with respect to temperature and humidity, depending on what type of exercise training is being done. So I don't know if you want to elaborate on any of that. Did you see if there's with respect to the facilities here?
I mentioned earlier that I'm always interested in gaining some nuggets of information, and your question is a good nugget of information for me. I'm kind of aware of those conditions that people want to have in those spaces, in those areas, for the obvious training reasons associated with them. You know, in my career, I was also the springboard diving coach, and so having pool areas in the 80-degree range and having the water around 80 my divers would prefer 84, but that's good information. I'm very interested in that. Not a discussion I've had with our athletics department in particular, But we have talked about the conditions of our facilities and how we can best serve our athletes.
Okay, thank you. I do not see any more questions coming in, and if that's the case, unless you have any parting words for us, John, we can...
I appreciate the opportunity to share all this. You know, if you have questions for me, I know that as facilities people, we do get together often in different environments, and I'm also, you know, always willing to share information that I have, and I'm always out looking for other colleagues to share information with.
Well, that's fantastic. So if any of you out there think of a question or something you would like to share with John, please email it to ritalum@rit.edu, or you can tweet it to @RIT_alumni with the hashtag #MeRITWebinars, and we will be most happy to get those questions and comments directly over to John.